Hello Cancer, this is a timeless reading for you starting with the card Old and Wait, and I feel like these two cards together, there is something about you. You left something old behind, but now you feel like you have to wait for something new. Let's just say you quit your old job and you already applied for several new jobs and you're not getting an answer. I don't feel like you're waiting in an inactive or lazy way. It's just like you are in a situation where you depend on other people's reaction or action. Also with this old and waiting, I feel like you think you are just getting older and older and nothing is happening, even though you are trying to make things happen. People are not answering you. People are not moving towards you, even though you ask them to. For some of you, it might also be if you have not been active in a situation. It is not to blame you. Maybe you have some kind of depression, or maybe you used to be a person who was always very inspired and you always knew what you wanted and then you worked towards it. But maybe now you find yourself for the first time in your life in a situation, in a phase of your life where you just have no idea and it's something entirely new. You just don't know what to do. You just don't even know what you want anymore. And you've never felt this way before. And you feel like you have to hurry, otherwise you will be too old or something like that. There's also something old that's lingering around, like there's something about postponing a decision, about throwing something away. This is just a small thing on the side. I think the main topic here is this feeling stuck in this waiting room, wanting to move forwards but having to wait, wanting to leave this old pair of shoes behind, and you already left a situation or a person even, I don't know. And now you're sitting there, now you have to wait for an answer. Reality and zero. I feel like there is a spiritual lesson here. That your reality is not necessarily in your thoughts, in your analysis, in your interpretation of a situation, but maybe this waiting room is some kind of spiritual prison for you where you are forced to become inactive. If you usually are a very active person, someone who is always doing something, always having an idea and immediately starting to work towards this idea, maybe life is forcing you now to stop analyzing, to stop working towards things. Maybe you have worked towards a lot of things already and now you have to be stuck so that you can become this kind of zero inside of your mind and realize a very profound spiritual reality instead of trying to control life with your logic and analytical thinking, so that you become more open to receive a very profound and true reality, a divine and spiritual one. I already said spiritual reality. In the second row, better friction, acceptance, and this friction card tells me a lot about triggers. Being triggered when other people call you names, attack you, project onto you, being triggered by noise around you, being triggered by certain smells, odors around you, being triggered by, I don't know, when technical things don't work out, like just be triggered by everything. Maybe you have come from this kind of state. Maybe you have been through a lot of stress and it was so overburdening for your body and mind, all this stress, that you became very oversensitive towards odors and sounds and visual impressions and people and what people say, how people move, like just every detail of life became so annoying and triggering. And maybe you have also been through a lot of abuse. It doesn't have to be the worst kind of abuse, but it could be. Some people of you could be severely traumatized. Others, it's just just in quotes, some kind of societal abuse, like not necessarily by evil people, but by very selfish or ignorant people. The way people chew, the way people, I don't know, when people never make space for you, even though you make space for them, or they just throw the door into your face, you know, something like that. This is also abusive in some way. And then there is much worse abuse, you know what I mean. So it could be all of it somehow, that you have a very thin skin for very justified reasons, and then you were constantly in this state, maybe even for 20 months, that you were constantly in this extremely triggered state. But there is a huge improvement coming here. There is acceptance, and there is infinity. And I feel like this will outweigh all these triggered feelings, the triggered spots in your body and your mind. Especially with 0 and infinity, like they seem to be opposites here. But actually they are the same in some way. This might also be a realization that you might have, a spiritual one, that something that you once thought was contradictive, suddenly it becomes one in your mind, in your realization. Maybe your whole life you thought of something as like this. These are two pieces of a puzzle that will never fit into each other. This will never match. It doesn't make sense. Like maybe this was also triggering you immensely. That something just didn't make sense. You know, like, okay, it's this way in life and it's also that way in life. But how can I put these two together? It just, it drives me crazy to think about it. But there might be a solution suddenly, and you might realize that something you thought was super contradictive is actually not contradictive at all. And this will bring so much relief and happiness here. Give me a second if there's still some... No, it's actually quite simple here. I thought maybe there is something more on the acceptance card. But actually it just radiates joy. For some of you, it could even be that just when it starts to, that you were so stressed in your body and mind, so traumatized that everything in life, which is so annoying, stressful for you, that even when it started to rain, it would ruin your whole day. Like you already carry so much. And then on top of all that, it also starts to rain. It could be very literal here. Yeah, just something that used to bother you is not bothering you anymore. At the bottom of the deck you have the Love card, and this is just a general energy. I don't get a very romantic feeling from it, which doesn't mean that it's not possible. It could be that for you, but I feel like it's just love for yourself. It's love for life. It's a spiritual kind of love that includes many people. Not all people, not everything in life, but a lot. So it's the opposite of being annoyed by every little detail. Like you could fall in love with a lot of details in life. And you might also, like this love could be so strong that you find a shield within yourself to protect yourself from these kind of demons that torture you on purpose, that trigger you on purpose. Because they want you to suffer and to be triggered, because that's how they get their energy from you. But with this love is actually so strong that these demons will not even come close to you anymore, because they fear this kind of love. If they sense this kind of spiritual love in someone, they will stay away from this person. They will try to find someone else to attack and get painful energy from. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you for watching.